association's Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual's lifetime of achievement in service to the co-op community. This year's recipient is an early baby boomer who debuted in October 1946 in Portsmouth. He is known for his impeccable attire and thoughtful, contemplative nature, evident even as a baby. Here, clad in the chicest infant fashion of the time, our Distinguished Service Award recipient pauses for a moment of thoughtful reflection during his first photo shoot. A few years later, as a fifth grader, and again as a high school senior, our honoree's bright eyes and engaging smile bespeak the winning personality that would help make him so effective in his efforts in public service and his work for electric cooperatives. Fast forward to 1974, our Distinguished Service Award recipient, cooperative attorney Joshua Pretlow Jr. of Suffolk, begins his tenure as Community Electric Cooperative Legal Counsel. We see him here at front and right at one of his first co-op board meetings with then manager Gene Woodward. Pret credits his parents, Joshua Josh Pretlow and Betty Cross Pretlow, with instilling in him a strong work ethic and duty to serve his fellow man. Friends and family have heard Pret voice his motto of personal philosophy many times. His motto is, quote, "Life has been mighty good to me, and I have an obligation to give back." Part of his giving back included serving his country in uniform. At Fort Polk, Louisiana, in 1969, Pret was ranked first among 323 trainees in basic training for the Army. And this was after he had just completed a whopping 22 credit hours of classes in his final semester of college. The normal load is 15 credit hours. And this was in order to graduate by January 1969 and report for military service that spring. Pret got married that summer and began law school in Richmond that fall, following in his father's footsteps in his choice of career. Pret has served his co-op and its members for nearly 4 decades, including the entire tenure of longtime community president and CEO Jim Reynolds, shown here sharing a thought with Pret. And with these 4 decades of service, Pret has become a fixture at the community's annual meetings and knows most of the members by name. At the 1980 community annual meeting, Pret talked to the co-op member who had just won a thermosaver water heater blanket kit. And over the years, Pret's annual meeting presentation skills have become razor sharp. Here he presides over the co-op director election in 1988. Co-op employees marvel at Pret's ability to deftly navigate right through any annual meeting program bumps, afterwards saying something like, "That was a test, right?" Here's Pret with former community directors Buddy White, Howard Holland Jr., and current community board member Garland Lowe Jr., all agricultural leaders. In keeping with his rural roots, Pret to this day is involved in agriculture, sharecropping his 200 acres of farmland near Windsor. He also owns a peanut cold storage business with close friend and business partner, Tom Buzz Huffler. Buzz recounts how he and Pret became business partners. Quote, "I was going to buy the business alone, but my biggest customer in the brokerage said that he thought there might be a conflict. I asked him if I got a partner, would that do the trick? So I had to talk to Pret. He was all for it, and the rest is history. We've never had a disagreement in 18 years. Here's Pret in 1990 speaking at Community's annual meeting when it was held at the American Legion building in Suffolk. Pret's an active member of the Chuckatuck Rotary Club, North Suffolk Rotary Club, and Mansman Masonic Lodge, reflecting his strong commitment to community service. By 2007, Pret's penchant for bow ties was well established. During this time period, he was instrumental in establishing the cooperative's successful subsidiary, Tidewater Energy Services, LLC. All of his life, Pret has been extremely close with his siblings. Pret and Wright and his brother Kirk are flanking their sisters Jenny and Ann in this photo from their younger days. Pret and Kirk are law partners, and Pret served as Kirk's mentor as Kirk read law for his law license. This licensure process takes place over a period of 3 years, at least 20 hours per week, under the supervision of the mentoring attorney. The The State Bar had to approve the program and also approve Pret as Kirk's supervising attorney. Today, Pret and Kirk all live down a private lane on Lake Western Branch, and his sister Jenny is preparing to break ground very shortly on a home there as well. So all four siblings will be together in the same neighborhood. Pret is the proud father of 3 children. Here is his oldest daughter, Denson, and her wedding to her husband, Rob House. Pret's youngest daughter, Alice, followed in the family tradition and in her dad's footsteps and has embarked on an exciting career as a lawyer. Always active and fit, Pret enjoys a mountain hike with his son, Joshua Pretlow III, known to family and friends as Josh. Pret is a doting grandfather to Denson's and Rob's twin daughters, Finley and Ann Ruffin, as well as to grandson Patterson, son of Josh and his bride Jenny. And in 40 years, the management, staff, and membership of Community Electric Cooperative have also become like family to Pret. Shown here with Jeanette and M.L. Everett at Jim Reynolds' retirement party, Pret at the time was hard at work behind the scenes, assisting the community board with a major undertaking, helping to pave the way for and welcoming new CEO Steve Harmon, who took over the helm of Community Electric Cooperative just over a year ago. A man of deep faith who was ever mindful of his personal life philosophy of giving back, Pret has taught Sunday school for the last 42 years at Wesley Chapel United Methodist Church in his home community of Chuckabah. Always busy, Pret nonetheless knows the value of having fun. Here's Pret staying fit with a hike up Cadillac Mountain, part of Acadia National Park in Maine, and at the other end of the country, enjoying time with friends in Key West, Florida. Dedicated community servant, steadfast advocate for Community Electric Cooperative, wise mentor to his fellow attorneys throughout his career, loving father and grandfather. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us today in honoring our 2014 Electric Cooperative Distinguished Service Award recipient, the Honorable Mr. Joshua Pretlow, Jr.
I'd like to ask Steve Harmon, President of Community Electric Cooperative, please escort Josh Pretlow and Pat Roundtree to the front, and I ask Older Davis to join us as well. I'd like to invite Steve Harmon to come and make some remarks.
Good afternoon. Dot, I think based on your statement, we share the same challenge in trying to keep this type of award a secret with Pret. So I think technically that makes you and I and probably several other people liars. Pret came today on the premise that Jeanette Everett is going to receive the award. I guess he's learned differently. So I'm delighted to be one of the first to congratulate Pret in being the recipient of this year's Distinguished Service Award. Many of you have had the honor to work with him for a number of years. I, on the other hand, have only had the privilege and the honor to work with him for the past year. But in that short length of time, I can tell you that it didn't take very long at all for me to identify the characteristics that embody this award. One of the terms that comes to mind is leadership. Pret always has had and continues to have experienced, mature, very methodical, thoughtful leadership, and provides that very willingly and graciously to the board. The second thing that comes to mind is integrity. Pret always operates above board to the highest level of integrity, transparency, openness, honest communication, which goes a long way, again, in leadership. Thirdly, I can think of sound judgment. He certainly assists in making sound judgments and advising the board to make those decisions. The best example I can think of that is his influence on the board in selecting the new CEO. I'm only afraid that that's the last opportunity he has to contribute in that regard. But all joking aside, Pret not only has demonstrated excellent leadership and guidance to the community electric board. He's also a great fellow, a great man, and my friend. So please join me in congratulating Brett on receiving this award.
Again, we have the award framed here, and I'd like to read from the award for faithfully and effectively carrying out his responsibilities as General Counsel to Community Electric Cooperative for 40 years, during which time his keen legal mind, astute business judgment, and strong advocacy contributed in numerous significant ways to many of the cooperative's notable achievements, and for exemplifying the principle of cooperation among cooperatives and actively supporting and participating in the Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware Distribution Attorneys Association, for contributing in numerous ways to the civic and philanthropic life of his community, including the Rotary Club, Brewerton Club, his local Masonic Lodge, and area Boy Scouts, and for his polite, courtly manner, his eminent good humor, his impeccable reputation built on honest advocacy and absolute integrity, and for the high esteem in which he is held by all members of the cooperative legal fraternity, who view him as constituting the very embodiment of a lawyer's lawyer. Therefore, this 2014 Electric Cooperative Distinguished Service Award is presented with admiration and appreciation to Joshua Pretlow, Jr. Congratulations. I'm going to go a little off script here and make Vicki and some of them nervous, but as Mr. Pretlow comes forward to make some remarks, I'd like for him to know that as he's making his remarks, there are a few friends and family that are here. I think you will be surprised. I'm going to read through the list, and I ask these folks to stand as I read their name. His son and daughter-in-law, Josh and Jenny, are here. His daughter and son-in-law, Denson and Ron House. His daughter, Ellis, is here. His sister, Jenny Barrett, is here. His sister and brother-in-law, Ann and Bert Henderson. His brother and law partner, Kirk Pretlow. Law partner, Stephen R. Jackson. Business partner and close friend, Thomas Hoffman. Former law partner, James Moore. And very close friends, Margaret Merrick, Francis Cleveland, Jan and Kenny Cochran, and Linda and James Butler.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate this award. I've been fortunate enough to have one of the greatest lives anybody could ever have. Lou Gehrig didn't have anything on me. As you can see, I have a wonderful family, close friends. They're all here today. Looking forward to spending some time with them. But I will say this also. I had the benefit of having one of the greatest teachers in the world. My father was a lawyer, as many of you heard and saw the pictures the other day. He came up as an orphan at 13. He died at 54. I had him for less than 2 years to teach me. He was a fabulous teacher my entire life. I was only 27 when he died. And I was lucky to have people like cooperative people that I had the opportunity to work with and still am able to work with today. I've been blessed with a great faith and great health and great family, and nobody can ask for more than that. Thank you so much for the support.
We're going to ask these folks to stay here. We're going to invite Vernon and Susan to come back up. We're going to invite all their friends and family to come and stand with them. We'll also invite you to come up and join them and congratulate them as we adjourn our meeting. I would let you know that there are replicas of both of these awards to take as mementos, and they're available at the front of the room. And then we'll also remind you that our program, our afternoon general session, will begin about 1:40 in the colony room, the ABCD, where we were earlier this morning. Thank you for being here.
like to make sure you get it, Brett's family.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll keep going.
Okay, yeah.
We'll try not to get...
You're fine.
And gentlemen, look at this. He'll set things up, make sure it's taken care of.
Oh, don't worry about that. I think that's just a more. I think it'll be all right. You're talking about the rolling?
There's an image stabilizer.